Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss on Physics SPM Trial 2021 Sarawak paper. So let's look at first question. So first question is from Form 4 topic measurement, the basic one. So the diagram 1 show a mechanical stopwatch reading at the end of an experiment. And this stopwatch is used to measure the time of 20 complete oscillation of a simple pendulum of length. So basically time is what type of quantity? Now there is two answers. As you all know, time is actually base quantity or scalar quantity because it do not have direction. So you only give one of it out of these two answers. Next, calculate the period for one complete oscillations. So you need to know how to read the stopwatch. So basically the time taken here is for how many oscillation? 20 oscillation. So 20 oscillation, the time is reaching 24, right? Okay, because one division is 1 second. Okay, so hence you want to get the time for one oscillation. Hence, you just need to use the 24 second divided by 20 oscillation. Hence, you will get 1.2 seconds. Next, what will happen to the time of 20 complete oscillation if the length of pendulum L is reduced? So as you all know, if you all carry out the experiment for MV, which is length of pendulum, and then RV is period of oscillation. Of course, the longer the length, it will take more time, right? So now the length is shorter. Of course, the period will also decreases. So actually, question 1 is a very basic idea. Most of the time, okay, it's easier to score 4 marks if you have the general understanding on it. Okay, so for questions 2. Questions 2 is from 4, forces and motion on motion graph. Okay, as you know, you learn two type of graph, which is this displacement time graph and also velocity time graph. So whenever you all do those questions that related to graph, especially displacement time graph, right? If you are not so sure about the idea, you can always draw the line graph. Okay, like this question, they're actually giving you all the idea how does this boy start and end for cycling. Okay, so diagram 2.1 show the starting and ending position of atom during cycling. Diagram 2.2 show the displacement time graph for the movement of atom and what is the definition of displacement. So of course, every question sure they will always ask definition. So if you still not familiar with all those definition when you all do the revision, like now you're learning, okay, try to remember as many definition as you can. So generally, what is displacement? So for your understanding, displacement and distance is similar idea. It's just that distance do not have direction. They are scalar quantity, but displacement, they have directions. Okay, that means the idea of direction is important here. And it's actually the shortest path from initial point to the ending point in a specific direction. So this is how you give the definition, shortest distance or shortest path between 2 points in a specific direction. Okay, next. What will happen to atom during the 10th and the 12th second? Okay, so again, we explore the graph first. Now, every time when you all do any questions that related to graph, you all first look at what is the y-axis. Like this case is displacement. Then next thing, if can, you all relate it with gradient. Gradient is a very important idea when you analyze the graph, okay? Not necessarily on motion graph, any graph that related to physics, okay? So the gradient here is actually what? Displacement over time, which is referred to what? Velocity. Which means if you see a line with the gradient, that means they will have velocity. Not only velocity, the velocity is supposed to be constant. So very quick, we just have a general idea on the motion of atom. So from 0 to 10 seconds, you have gradient, correct? And it's a constant. So that's why they have constant velocity for the beginning part until 10 seconds. Then what happens when the line becomes horizontal? Do you have gradient? Do not have gradient. That means the velocity is 0. Zero velocity also mean what? Not moving. Okay. Next, this one is some important part. What does it mean by going downhill? A lot of times students will very quick say, oh, deceleration. No. This is not velocity time graph. This is displacement time graph. It means, okay, like the motion of this atom from this line graph. Initially, he is here, right? That means from 0 to 10 seconds, he actually reached here already, this point. Get the idea? And then he just stopped a while, between 10 to 12 seconds. Then what he do? He actually moved backwards. This is the region that show over here. Notice? Move back to origin, the starting point. Then what is the remaining part that at the bottom here? He continued to move toward left side from origin. Can get the idea? Now, as you all do the calculation, you will actually get negative gradient now for both idea. So this negative is referred to direction. Okay, so for the direction, it means back to the origin opposite direction. Okay, so now they want 10 to 12 seconds. So I just mentioned what is this part? The object is not moving or at rest. So either one, you can get the answer. Then for part, okay, wait, I show the answer first. So C, determine the total displacement for Adam. So for total displacement, it's actually shortest path. So where is your initial point? Your starting point is actually over here. Your ending point is actually over here. So simple is actually negative 40 meter lah. Now, why you need to put the negative? Is just to indicate that the object is towards the left side. Or if you want to give another idea, you can also write what? 40 meter to the left. So it's actually indicate the idea of what? Direction already. That's why you all need to be careful when involve a vector quantity. Next. Hence, calculate the average velocity of Adam for the whole journey. So what is the formula for average velocity? Average velocity is total displacement over total time. So you already have total displacement from C. And what is your total time? Your total time is actually, you get it from here, which is 20 seconds for the whole journey. That take 20 seconds. So hence, you just need to use negative 40 divided by 20. Therefore, you will get negative 2 meter per second. Or correct substitution, 1 mark. Correct answer with unit, 1 mark. Yeah. Okay, question 3. Question 3 is from 5, electronic regarding semiconductor diode. So diagram 3.1 show an electric circuit consists of semiconductor diode and a bulb. Okay, what is the function of diode? Okay, so generally, function of diode is to allow current to flow in one direction only. There are 2 types of connection, right? Of course, first you need to know what is this line referred to. Refer to N-type. Then this triangle part is referred to P-type. Okay, whenever you have N-type, connect to positive terminal, P-type connect to negative terminal. This idea is actually called reverse bias. It's actually called reverse bias, which means there will be no current flow. Okay, and there will be no current flow. But you also can have another connection if teacher reverse the direction of diode, or I interchange the terminal of battery. Either way lah. So now I change the direction of diode, but I have to remain the battery direction same, or else everything is reverse, so it's no change again. Can? So this N-type, this P-type. If N-type connect to negative terminal, P-type connect to positive terminal, then it's called forward bias. Okay, then that means there will be current flow. Okay, so the idea is like this case, you connect this way, no current, but so the bulb will not up, the bulb will not up. But this one, the current can flow already. They will follow, like you see, like arrowhead like that. Notice or not, some sort similar. Yeah. Okay, so that's why the function is to allow current to flow in one direction. And due to this idea also, that's why sometimes diode also can be used as rectifier, whereby you can change alternating current to direct current. So we'll see the next part. Okay, next, what will happen to the bulb when the switch is closed? So like I showed you just now, what is happening? Will the bulb light up or not? As what I mentioned, no, because the connection is reverse bias. Reverse bias, so therefore no current can flow. Okay, and due to the resistance of diode too high, this is the idea behind it. Okay, next one. The diode is connected to cathode ray oscilloscope with different input. And then first diagram shows the diode connect to DC supply, and then another one is for AC supply. They want you to sketch the wavefront for both diagram. Okay, so now this is a dry cell. So again, you have to identify this line is what? N-type, this P-type. Then this is positive, this is negative. So this is what type of connection? It is reverse bias. So if reverse bias, is there any current going to flow? No. So therefore, the output is 0. 0 means you have to show like that. Nothing. Okay. But now, instead of having the dry cell, right, you have what? Alternating current, AC supply. What is mean by alternating current? So your input are supposed to look like this one. Get the idea? This is your initial input if you were to have the CRO to displace the idea, which means for the first half cycle, they can have the idea whereby this is positive terminal, this is negative. Then this P-type, this is N-type. Assumption we start with positive terminal first, or positive. So P-type positive, N-type negative is considered what? Forward bias. So that's mean got current. That's why your output, some sort, let's say teacher take 2 boxes, you will have output occurs. But then what happened is AC will always interchange its terminal every half cycle. So now it becomes negative positive. So when it becomes like that, the time you see P to negative, okay, N to positive. Now it becomes reverse already, right? The idea. So that's mean the bottom half no more current. So it's become flat. Then, of course, this process is repeated one. Then they will back to positive, negative. Then you got current again. Then no current again. Got current again. So this is the idea where I just now mentioned. It can a diode can change AC to DC. This process is called rectification, and the diode is act as rectifier now. Now, if one diode, you will have half wave rectification, half wave. If you have 4 diodes, then like a bridge one, okay, then you will be full wave rectification. Okay, bear in mind, when there is 0 current, right, you have to show this line also one. You cannot just leave it because nothing. Like this one, you leave it blank. Cannot. You need to show, because this is how it show in the cathode ray oscilloscope, the machine that displays the wave pattern. Okay. Then now we are in questions 4. Question 4 is from Form 4, Chapter 3, Gravitation. Okay. What is the correct answer should be given by their father? So we look at the conversations between this Adam and Fatima with their fathers at the durian orchard. Okay. Dad, why do durians fall directly to the ground? Dad, why does the moon revolve around the earth? So as you all know, there is always a force. What is this force? This is actually the gravitational force that acting between 2 bodies. Remember, you have this idea, the force is directly proportional between 2 masses, and then the force is inversely proportional to the distance between the 2 objects from their center. Correct? R square, and hence you will have the universal gravitational force, Gm 1m2 over R square. Yeah, so this is what it means. So that's why the answer should be the second one. Okay, if it is a centripetal force alone, is always showing you the object is circulating towards the object. It must be moving one around, okay, in a ellipse way, elliptical way. Okay, so next, calculate the acceleration due to gravity for a durian of mass 1.5 kg that is falling to the ground. Ignore the resistance, giving you have the mass and also the distance between durian and the center of the earth. Now, first, you need to know what formula you are using, right? what is acceleration due to gravity? Acceleration due to gravity is G already, no longer F. So nowadays, they indeed will give you a formula list, but then they didn't really specify clearly. G is what? F is what? Like give you full term. Gravitational acceleration is what, something like that. So they just give you symbol. So that's why it is so important for you all to know what does the term refer to. Get it? If you assume this is F, then it's wrong already. Get it? Right? So the formula itself is actually G equals to G capital M over R squared. How do you get this formula? Actually, you link the idea of general, which is weight equals to mg ma. And then just now teacher show you that formula, G, M1, M2, but then in this case, we'll use capital M, small m over R squared. So you actually cancel out the M, and hence you have this equation out one. Get the idea? Then, of course, you sub accordingly lah. The capital G, they will give your one in the formula list, okay? Or actually, by right, it's supposed to be over here lah, right? Or sometimes they will just show in the questions, okay? Yeah, so this is what I say just now. The formula is GMM over R squared. Value of G is a constant, which is 6.67 times 10 power of negative 11. Then the mass of Earth, 5.97 times 10 power 24. And the distance, because it seems like the height can be ignored lah, too short ma, right? Durian straight away to the center of the Earth is about this value. Then you will get about 9.81, where you commonly use for calculation W equals mg1, right? Hence, you calculate the force acting on the durians as it is falling. Okay, so for this idea, you just straight away use W equals to mg lor, because you have this value of G already, right? Okay, and you will get about 14.715 Newton. Now, all this unit is important. You must always get answer with unit. Okay, correct substitution, correct answer with unit. Get it? So don't write just number without the unit. Okay, and like for this one, when you press in calculator, right, make sure you press 1 or 2 times. Okay, make sure there is a square. A lot of time you're not aware all these minor problems. Also, that's why a lot of time your final answer is not accurate. Okay, especially you do questions on gravitation, because the value is either very big or very small. Okay, and then they have square lah, cube lah, square root, all this. So all this must take note. Okay, moving on. When the rubber stopper make a circular motion, the tense string exerted a force on the rubber covered. What is the direction of the force? So the direction of the force is towards. That means you can straight away write on the string itself, or draw the arrow. Okay, so this is the idea of centripetal force already. Okay, a force that always causes an object to move towards the center of the circle, right? So same thing. That's why they will still just give a general formula F. So what is the formula for centripetal force now? Is basically mv squared over R. So if you do not know, this is actually referred to centripetal force formula. So it's kind of you still cannot apply this formula, even though I give you the formula list already. So do take notes all this formula, right? You may not remember the full one, but you must roughly know. Okay, this F is referred to what? This V is referred to what? Get the idea? Then of course you need to know what is the quantity respectively lah. So giving you mass 0.2, then V is a linear speed, and then the R is the distance here. Yeah, so you identify correctly, then you sub correctly, and make sure everything is SI unit lah. Memang meter, kg, meter per second is all SI unit. Let's say they give you cm, then you have to change cm to meter. This is what you all need to be careful change to SI unit every time calculations. Now, what happened to the linear speed if the length of the string is shortened? So length of the string will affect the radius of circles ma. Agree? Yeah, so you look at the equation, length is shortened. That means R is decreased. If decrease, or they want to see what happened to speed, also we rearrange the formula first. You have V squared equals to what? FR over M. So the relationship between the radius or the length of the string is actually directly proportional to the speed. So if you decrease, that means your speed also will be decreases. So this is how you get the idea. Okay, moving on for question 5. Question 5 is conceptualization questions, comparing question. So teacher will say for comparing questions is direct. So make sure that you all try to understand the terms, the graph, the diagram, so that you can try to give the answer. Okay, of course, this question is from quantum physics, last chapter of Form 5, on this idea for this photoelectric effect, the equation. Okay, so we'll look at the questions now. Diagram 5 shows a graph of maximum kinetic energy, Kmax against frequency for calcium's Ca metal, where F0 is the threshold frequency, and the calcium metal is irradiated with two light sources, which is A and B. So what is the meaning of this threshold frequency? So threshold frequency is actually minimum frequency, okay, to cause the photoelectric effect to occur, which means they can emit electron when you shine light with their frequency, which is higher than this threshold frequency. Okay, the minimum frequency of light photons required to produce photoelectric effect. Okay, next, compare the frequency of A and B. So frequency is on the x-axis. So obviously, the frequency of light of A is bigger or smaller? It will be A is smaller. So you say the frequency of light of A is smaller. Okay. Then next, compare the maximum kinetic energy emitted when irradiated by light A and B. So A, the energy, now you look at the y-axis, right? Because your maximum energy on here. So when A is 0.27, while B is 0.6. So which one is higher or which one is lower? So A is lower or B is higher. So same thing, you write everything, the maximum kinetic of the when irradiated by light A, for A is less than B. You can use the greater and smaller sign, or you can use the term higher or lower. And you relate the frequency and maximum kinetic energy. Of course, their relationship is directly proportional, or you say increase like this. The greater the frequency, the greater the minimum kinetic energy, the maximum kinetic energy for electron to emitted lah. C is on the idea on calculations, giving you the work functions of calcium metal is 3 electron volt. Electron volt is actually the idea of energy. It's just that we commonly use joule, right? But then in the idea of a very small world, okay, in quantum area, like for light, okay, for nuclear energy, normally they will change the idea of joule to become electron volt, okay. So it's still the idea of energy lah, for your understanding. Okay, so they want you to calculate the threshold frequency. So how do you relate the work function with threshold frequency? Work function is actually the minimum energy required to cause photoelectric effect. So basically, W is equals to Hf0, where H is actually the Planck constant. Again, they should give you in the formula list lah for what is this constant itself. Okay, so that's why W equals to Hf0, and you have to change this EV to joule first. So basically, 1 electron volt is equivalent to 1.6 times 10 power negative 19 joule. They're supposed to have this in the formula list, okay? So you change EV to joule. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you have to times. Then if you the other way around, change to EV, then you have to divide lah. So that's why they have to use 3 times 1.6 times 10 power negative 19. This is the reason. Get the idea? Then this is a Planck constant of 6.63 times 10 power negative 34. So F0 is actually this whole thing divided by this value, okay? Then you will get this threshold frequency, minimum frequency to cause a photoelectric effect. Next, calculate the energy of light B when the light is irradiated on the calcium metal. Okay, so you have to use the concept of photoelectric effect or Einstein equation, which is E equals to work function plus K max. Okay, so you already have the work function, right? So this is fixed already. Same thing, later on you have to change to joule. Then next thing, what is the K max? K max is from the graph law. This one, 0.6 EV, 0.6 EV. Okay, so you can have everything in terms of electron volt. So, like mentioned just now, the general formula. So this is what you want to get, energy. Then the work function is 3 EV. Then K is from the graph, right? 0.6 EV. So by right, you're supposed to get 3.6 EV. How do you change it? Again, it's from just now teacher showed 1 EV equals to 1.6 times 10 power negative 19. So you can time this, but the unit become joule. That's why it's very important for you to write unit. You cannot just write, 3.6, that's it, finish, then without writing the unit. Because 3.6 joule, people can assume, so cannot. So this is electron volt. If you want to change to joule, then you times and then you get this. Good. Next, what happened to the maximum kinetic energy if the intensity of light increases? Now, bear in mind, under the quantum physics idea, energy is always related to frequency. They are directly proportional to frequency. If you make the light brighter, right, there is no point one. Okay, if they are not exceeded or the threshold frequency of the matter, they have this minimum energy. But if your light frequency is less than the threshold frequency, right, there will be no photoelectric effect one. Okay, so that's why basically there will be no effect on this maximum kinetic energy. So that's why they remain unchanged. Okay, okay, moving on, number 6. Number 6 is from 5, chapter 1, forces as motion or resolution of force. Okay, so diagram 6.1, 6.2 show a man pulling a bar of mass 10 kg with a force of 800 Newton, and the rope is pulled with an angle of 40 and 15 degrees respectively, horizontal to the component force Fx. First, what is the meaning of force? So generally, force is actually a push or a pull. Okay, a push or a pull. B, calculate the force Fx in diagram 6.1 and 6.2. Okay, so basic idea to resolve a force, if giving you a force with an angle, you can always resolve it into x component and also y component. Same go for this diagram. You can have x component, y component. Okay, so to relate the the Fx component with the angle, right? Okay, with the given force, which is the 800 Newton, this one, F. We call this as F. Okay, so basically you are shifting the y component, the basic idea you shift this to here, so become right angle triangle already, agree? But this is Fy component. So now we want to get what is Fx. Okay, so you use SOHCAHTOA trigonometry, because you have angle, you want to link Fx with the 40. So how do you link Fx and 40? Are you using sine, cos, or tangent? So basically you are using cos, right? Cos 40 equals to what? Adjacent Fx over F. Hence, your relationship is, you want to get the x component is F cos theta. F cos theta. Or I always tell students, you look at this angle. This 40 is touching which component? This 50 is touching the x component. Then that component will be cos. Now, whereas if I want you to find Fy, let's say the question asks to find Fy. So what is your Fy? Then it becomes F sine theta. If you don't believe, you try to rearrange now. You move this fx component up. Again, trigo, you will get the relationship as sine. Okay, so not necessarily always x component is cos, it can be sine as well if you notice, because if I use the other angle, let's say I use 50, then it become sine 50 already. You press calculator, cos 40 and sine 50 is same thing. So if you know the general idea of resolution of force by using trigonometry, then you can just sub, okay? So you have 800 cos 40, then you get the answer. Same go for this, fx is 800 now, cos what? 15. Okay, so you press the answer lah and get the answer. Okay, so based on the diagram, they want you to compare the angle with horizontal component. So which angle is bigger? Diagram 6.1, no? Or you say 6.2, okay? Yeah, you should add in this as well. This means you say the angle with the component of xy in diagram. Okay, 6.1 is greater. Don't just 6.1 more than 6.2, okay? It's not safe because you didn't mention what, okay? In SPM, always make it a habit, give full answer. Then next, this one given already, C1. Then compare the magnitude of fx. So obviously fx in 6.1 is lesser. So the greater the angle, the smaller the fx, the horizontal component, and the greater the fx, the greater the acceleration, because here memang they got defined what is fx, so you can use back the term fx, or you can use the term directly proportional for this idea. You say fx is directly proportional to acceleration, or this one, the angle is inversely proportional to fx. You can use this term as well. So this is what we call comparison questions lah. If you can calculate, of course, you know some basic, then you can compare and you can answer. Okay, question 7 is from Form 4, Chapter 6, Light and Optics. This one is on the last topic already. Image formation by spherical mirror. Okay, so diagram 7.1 show the image form on the surface of spoon. Name the phenomenon involved in producing the image. Okay, so is shiny surface mean you reflect light, so that's why it's reflection. Every time they ask about phenomenon, reflection, refraction, or total internal reflections, right? Okay, what is the characteristic of the image formed by the spoon? As you can see, it's some sort like someone holding it, right? It's like you holding it, look at it, right? Hold the spoon. Okay, so that's why it seems like your the student face didn't invert, right? It's actually called up, right? So one of the characteristic will be upright, and basically you can have more if you know lah, it's actually diminished and also virtual also. Actually he is using this convex surface, this surface. So for the characteristic of image formed by convex mirror, right, they're always virtual upright and diminished one. Is like a spherical surface, yeah, like a ball, shiny ball, like Christmas ball. Yeah. So you all look at it, right? You always appear inside one ma. Or the fish eye view idea. So that's why this is fixed lah. The characteristic of image is always virtual upright, diminished regardless of where the position of object. They are far or near the surface also, less than focal length, more than focal length, they will always this. Also bear in mind lah, if it is a convex surface. Okay, so how do we get this characteristic? You can actually draw ray diagram. So first idea, you need to know if it is the convex surface. So the ray when strike on it, of course, they will bounce back. But you always need to bear in mind, will the ray reflect and converge or diverge? So for this idea, if I were to ask you lah, let's touch the surface already, you can basically draw a tangent line, you know, okay, for the ray which reach on it, and then you can actually draw normal line one. So when you draw normal line, it's some sort like this ray by right, show the ray, this one, the horizontal ray, this strike, they're supposed to reflect and actually follow the law of reflection. Understand? Incident angle equals to reflected angle. So this idea where it's, if let's say they bounce and go upwards, right? That means it's actually the idea of diverge. Or unlike this idea, if let's say like this, it means converge. So convex mirror, they will actually diverge light rays. Okay, so but you cannot simply diverge wherever you want. So there is a principle for drawing ray diagram one. Any ray that parallel to the principal axis, like I say this one, if they diverge, right, they will use the focus point on the right hand side as reference, and then you diverge. But then by right, this idea is not supposed to be exit, right? So that's why they strike this surface, then they bounce like this. Okay, then the other ray is any ray that going to strike on the center of curvature. But convex mirror, you use the same point, virtual point on the right hand side. They will just go straight without bending. Yeah, so you see, but then again, upon the surface, right, this part, actually the rays strike back already one. But then if you were to extended it, yeah, so you will need to be dotted because it's not real already. But then do you notice you actually have intersection point here? This is where the image form. That's why this image is considered virtual and then upright, and the size is smaller compared to object, right? So that's why it diminish. So this is also the idea on the previous questions. As you can see, is a convex surface. Okay. So move on. Next, diagram 7.3 show a dental mirror often used to examine the teeth. Name the type of mirror suitable to be used and give one reason for your answer. So those mirror that use for dentists and also makeup mirror, they are similar idea. You want to magnify, agree? That's why you use or else you don't need to use those mirror. And then they're also supposed to be upright. So to have this result, right, you have to place this is actually concave mirror. Type of mirror is concave mirror. And then where is the suitable distance they ask? When they ask you about this, you cannot say near or far one. You must always, for lenses or idea of mirror, right? You must always know about the position. So this focus point, this is double focus point. Okay, you're supposed to place your object less than focal length. So if you're my student, I always tell the student one, okay, you have 6 cases, read, okay, whereby this is case 1. So the characteristic form is womb. If you are here, then case 2, womb. Rim, this 3. Rim means re-inverted and magnified. Then this is same size, wrist. Then diminish when you are more than that. And also infinity. So of course, this is like a topic lah. You really need to understand clearly. Okay, so for this context, because we want it to be upright and somewhat magnified, so they have to place less than focal length. So the reasons for both, actually you can just say you can produce magnified image, because if you use concave convex mirror like just now, we just draw the drawing, is always diminished, right? So for both, the answer actually you can use either that magnify and upright. So this one concave mirror, and then they also can focus light lah, because for convex mirror they diverge light, this one they focus light. Okay, then less than focal length. Okay, but then like say this one, you can still say produce magnified image. So also can. Then part 2 memang specific, you must say less than focal length one. Again, the reason produce large image or magnified image. Number 8. Number 8 is from 5 question, chapter 3, electricity on electrical energy and power. So diagram 8.1 show a hairdryer which use heating element made of wire, and the hairdryer is labeled as 240 volt and 2 kilowatt. And the hairdryer is used for 6 hours per day. Calculate the energy used in the unit of kilowatt hour. Again, a kilowatt hour is another unit for energy in terms of joule as well. But then because when calculating, right, how much energy you use, okay, the idea is come from energy equals to power times time. So if you want to get the unit of joule, that means the power is in watt and the time must be in second, right? But then in calculating bill, normally we'll change the idea of power to become kilowatt, while the time is in terms of hour, right? So it will be more easy to calculate compare in terms of joule, okay? Because when you calculate is too big, then hard to calculate. Okay, then of course they want for 30 days. So first, you find unit of energy first. How many unit of energy? So the power memang they are already 2 kilowatt, so no problem. Okay, 30 days is how many hours? 30 times 24. So this is in terms of hour punya idea. This one is in terms of kilowatt. Notice or not? So you have your answer in kilowatt hour already. Can get it? So you have 360 kilowatt hour. Then next, if the cost is 20 cents per unit, calculate the cost using the hairdryer for 30 days. So just very direct, what you calculate from just now, 360, right? You just time with 20 cents. You just time with 20 cents. And then you get 72 ringgit. Or you memang want it to be in cent, then it's like 7200 cent, 7,200 cent. So that's why it's good to write you. Okay, moving on. C. The heating element in table 1 is designed to produce large quantity of heat. And table 1 show 4 different type of heating element K, L, M, and N. And the production of heat depends on the characteristic of the wire in the heating element. So based on the table, state the suitable characteristic of heating element and give one reason, the suitability for each characteristic. So in terms of what structured of wire, then later on they will ask type of wire as well lah. Okay, so now memang heating element is a very famous topic. It had been coming out in SPM question for the past 7 years. It's just that they changed some electrical device lah. So what is the device that actually will produce heat? Like iron, oven, bread toaster, hair dryer, yeah, so or the water heater. So they all using heating element. So I will tell student when you want to produce more heat. So by right, the elements or the material should have high resistance or low resistance. You have to have very high resistance one. Get the idea? Then only you can produce more heat. Because a lot of times students will think high resistance not good because you will have less current flow. But in the context of heating element, we want more heat idea. That's why we need high resistance. If you want high resistance, then the length should be long or short? Longer length, right? Because they are directly proportional. So that's why you use coil wire already. You won't use straight. Another thing is, what is the material for heating element? Nichrome. Nichrome they have high resistance compared to constant wire. Yeah. Okay, so this is the thing that you all need to take notes of. So that's why I say coil wire high resistance. Then nichrome again high resistivity or high resistance. Then hence you choose which one? N, right? So you write N. That's it. Okay, so it's some sort like a essay question for section B lah. But it's just a shorter version one. Yeah, so you actually done with the structured questions. So we'll proceed to essay questions now. So questions 9. Diagram 9.1 shows an outdoor storage tank and the water pipe in the house leak at 2 points X and Y. the depth of the liquid is one of the factors that affect the pressure in liquid. So other factors that affect, okay? So as you all know, what is the formula for pressure in liquid? H rho G, where H is actually the idea of depth lah. Depth. Rho is what? Density of liquid, or G is gravitational acceleration. So either one, when you mention, then you get the answer. Next, they want you to compare what? The depth of water at point X and Y, the horizontal water spurting out, and also the water pressure. So first, depth. Depth is referring from surface of water to that point. So this is depth. So which one is greater for X or Y? So the depth for Y is greater. So you all don't misunderstand. If you all misunderstand this H is height, height is actually from here. Then actually Y will be shorter already. So don't confuse with the term. If you calculate from surface to that point, we call it what? Depth. Depth. That's why I put the letter D lah. But sometimes I use the symbol H also, okay? Yeah. So therefore, the depth of Y is greater. Right? Depth for Y is greater. Then the distance of spurting water. Distance of spurting water refer to this. Okay. So they are further for Y as well. Agree? Because the pressure at deeper depth is higher. That's why when you're swimming, right, the deeper you swim, you'll find your ear painful is because the depth is greater. Then the pressure also greater. Okay, so this is how you write. The depth of water at X is less or Y is greater. Then the horizontal distance of water spurting for X is less. Then therefore the water pressure of X is less. So you know this idea clearly, then you can get straight away C1 and C2 already. This is comparison question. Also, the greater the pressure, the greater the horizontal distance. Okay, and then lastly, the greater the depth, the greater the pressure of the water. By right, this comparison question is come from the last questions, but then yeah, so that's why sometimes certain state people, their formatting also not so accurate lah. But somehow they are testing the idea which are similar also, or it's just that sometimes they are in different questions. So if you want to clear about the format, right, it's good to refer SPM past year. But somehow the way of answering is there lah. You have to answer this type of question one. So part D is calculation. They want you to calculate the atmospheric pressure in unit Pascal. So generally, you can change the idea of meter water to Pascal one. So how do you do that? You use the liquid pressure formula H rho G. Then this H, it become the depth of the liquid lah, of water lah. Okay. So they already tell you atmospheric pressure is 10 meter and they must be in a meter. Sometimes they give you example 0.1 cm. So we have to change it lah to meter. Get the idea? Which is 10 meter again, right? Then this density is different to the density of water law. And G is 9.81 standard. So you just calculate only. Then part 2, calculate the total water pressure at Y if the depth is 5 meter. They're supposed to just write the total pressure, no need to water. So it's kind of confusing. So if they want the pressure at point Y, right? So what you need to know is they are not only acted on point Y. Get the idea? Not they also have what? Atmospheric pressure. So you add up together. So here is what you have, 10 plus 5. 15 meter water. You can just leave your unit as meter water because meter water is another unit for pressure. Or if you want to change to Pascal, same thing, 15 times 1000 times 9.81. Then you have your answer in terms of Pascal. So whichever way is correct lah. Okay, bear in mind, correct substitution, correct answer with unit. Correct substitution, correct answer with unit. That's why this one macam senang, right? But then if you didn't write meter water, you just write 15, then it's wrong already one. Okay, next, we will always have a part on 10 marks question lah. And question 9 and question 10, you can choose. So read carefully which question and then only make your choice during exam. So diagram 9.3 show appears host, table, and aquarium, and you are designed to remove water from the aquarium using the item given in the figure 9.3. So any of you have aquarium at home, so you always have some general idea, right? You have to place the aquarium higher place or lower place. Highest, right? Okay, where got people want to remove water and then put on the floor one, right? It's like not common sense. So you see something that is easier for you, this type of questions, right? You go and choose, like you don't know where should you place, don't know the diameter, you don't go for diameter. Example, like I just now ask you where is the aquarium, it's on the table, all right, so that means these two is no need to see already. Then your correct choice is more easier already, correct? Then on the floor is same thing. Okay, so you want a greater height or less height. If the height difference is greater, that means your liquid pressure is also higher. That means the water can be removed faster, agree? So that's why the difference in height should be higher. So that's why your choice is supposed to be N, right? Now, the moment you choose the idea correctly already, you by right supposed to get 6 out of 10 marks already, correct? You make a table, remember? This is the format. Then left side, you write characteristic. Then right side, you write explanations. So, memang you follow lah. But you need to be more specific. Like you say, the position of pail is on the floor. The position of aquarium is on the table. The diameter of hose is large. Then the difference in height. We don't use number. Also, you say high. Then you say I choose N because N have all the the 4 things that you mentioned just now. So this is how you get 6 marks. But you do not yet have any reason, But you already get 6 marks. So let's say you are kind of big. Don't worry one. Essay nothing like so hard. Like you need to really give a lot of points all this. But you wise in choosing the correct answer. Other than okay. So this is how you say So when you place the pail on the floor because you want to have a lower pressure region or a lower point, all right? And then higher position because you want to create high pressure region. Then because you want to allow more volume of water being flown out, different in height, larger, different in pressure. Hence, your answer, you say, I choose N because of all the specific idea. So this is how you get the answer. 1, 2, mark 3, mark 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, and then correct choice. And then repeat again, mark 10. So 2 marks. Okay, next, for question 10. Again, 9 and 10 is you can choose one, okay? But then let's say you exam really confused, you don't know which one. You can actually answer both. They can choose the highest mark one. Okay, 10A, diagram 10.1 show a nuclear reaction. Name the type of nuclear reaction that occurs. This is fission, right? Because you bombard and then you split. You split into 2 and then extra 3 neutron again. So when you split a heavy nucleus to 2 lighter nuclei, then we call this as nuclear fission. Next, calculate the mass defects in kilogram. How do you get mass defect for a given equation? The mass defect is actually come from the equation you must have before, after. So of course, it's good that you know before is what you can write out the equation. So you have uranium 23592 and also being hit by a neutron. Agree? 1, 0. Then at the end you produce what? You produce krypton and also barium. And also how many neutron? 3 more neutron. So this is 3 in front. The barium is 14156, krypton is 9230. So how do you get mass defect? This is before. This is after. So you total up the mass before minus the after one, the product, the daughter nuclei. You will get the mass defect. Okay, but do you notice I give you all this value? This is the unit of mass for atoms, all the subatomic particles, which is a very small value one. So you see they have a lot of decimal point, all this, right? Make sure you take into account, you plus everything. You plus everything. Okay, so hence we will have this idea. Okay, see it up. This is from where? From the neutron. This is from the uranium. Notice? And then you see you plus this one. Then you can actually bracket and then plus up to you all. But there's straight away minus might get the idea on maths. So this is from where? From krypton. from barium, from the neutron again, before minus after. So it's in terms of atomic mass unit or U. Then they give you this, 1 U is 1.66 times 10 power negative 27 kg. When you change U to kg, you times, the other way you divide. So that's why at the end you get this value. Now, of course, when you have atomic mass unit, everything cannot round off, cannot. But like this final answer, you can round off to 2 to 4 decimal point already. It means you can write 3.089 3.086 can 2 to 4 decimal point, like, it's acceptable one, no worry, okay? Then next, how do you calculate the energy produced? You're going to use E equals to MC square or Einstein equation. Okay, and then you sub accordingly. Again, bear in mind when you sub the value for this equation, right? Mass must always in kg. This is speed of light. C is speed of light, which is 3 times 10 power 8. By right, they're supposed to give you in the formula list again. You search, all this constant, no need to memorize, they will give one. Okay, next. C, by referring 10.1, explain how a chain reaction can be produced. What is actually chain reaction? So as you all can see, based on the diagram just now, you use one neutron, you split an unstable uranium, right, nucleus, and then become 2, and then you have extra 3 neutrons. So what happened to these 3 neutrons? They actually will also go and find other uranium. You not only have one uranium nucleus, understand? So they will hit, then they will split again. Krypton, barium. Again, they will have 3 neutrons back. So wow, you see, they multiply the number of neutrons already, notice or not? And again, this neutron will go and find more unstable uranium to bombard. Okay, then all these, what means I initiate, I start off by just using one. Then after that, the product itself, that means all this is called product. They will actually go and find other unstable nucleus to bombard already. So this is the idea behind it. So therefore, this is called chain reaction now. So uranium-235 bombard with a neutron. You see or not? Then uranium is not stable. Fission occurs that split to 3. Then it's 3 neutron bombard other uranium nucleus, right? So this process is called chain reaction. Okay, so you can give 4 marks. And this is more than 4 marks already. But the back part is important lah. Like you miss out the uranium nucleus unstable is okay. But then you cannot like miss out the 3 other neutron, 5 others uranium to nucleus to bombard. Okay, then part D again is a table questions. Diagram 10.2 show a cross section of nuclear reactor model. Then nuclear reactor is to be built near the seaside, and they will give you specification. So all the given label diagram is important for you, because sometimes you don't know where is the location of the control rod or what is those things. Then you look at the diagram, you may get some idea one. Then you actually have the field inside, you have the moderator, and you have the wall. Okay, so of course this question you can answer unless you have some idea lah, or you memang know what is the suitable material for control rod and moderator, or else you kind of hard to get the correct answer. Okay, again I will say you choose the characteristic that you kind of like you have the idea. So determine the suitable model, the nuclear reactor model that can function efficiently. So in terms of the wall of the reactor, I think you should choose which one, thick one or thin one. Okay, first is supposed to be thick. So normally should we use concrete or iron? You all learn this in lower form 1. Which one can prevent the radiation? Actually, it's concrete. Yeah, so this is how you get the idea. Then what is the fuel that we use? We memang use fuel rod ma. Uranium fuel rod. We don't use krypton one, right? Then next, this one is like you need to know the material lah. So basically for control rod, you can actually use boron or cadmium. Boron or cadmium, and then moderator is graphite or water. So same thing, you see, you already have the choice which is P. But like I say, this question, let's say you don't know this topic, memang you cannot answer lah. So generally, what is the function of this control rod? They are used to absorb the neutron. As you can see, just now the chain reaction teacher show one neutron bombard, then got 3 neutron, then they will have extra more neutron to go, right? So in nuclear reactor, you can control the chain reaction by using a control rod to absorb some of the neutron. When they absorb the neutron, then they won't have further reaction to occur. What that means you don't need to generate so much energy lor. But if you have a demand, you need more energy, then you will pull out this control rod, no need to absorb the neutron. Okay, so for your understanding lah. Then moderator graphite. So the function of moderator is basically the movement of this neutron is very fast. So if you want to slow it down, you need this medium lah, either graphite or water, to slow down. It's just like a slow moving ball is easier for you to capture. Similarly, you want the unstable uranium to capture the neutron, right? They have to be slow. So it's more easier lah. Then the fuel is uranium. You can produce large amount of energy because they are unstable element. You cannot use other type element. Then the wall is concrete wall because you can prevent leakage. So therefore you choose P law, and the reason is what you see here. So always go through question 9 and 10 and then choose which one you are more confident to answer first. Really have time, extra a lot, then only you try to answer both, okay? Or else don't do this risky lah. It's like not enough time, then you still want to answer all not necessary. Okay, last questions from essay. Now, last question is from section C. Is compulsory answer, no choice, only one question, okay? So diagram 11.1, 11.2 show a piece of copper rod, copper wire and rod connecting to a zero-centered galvanometer, and the two copper rods are moved upward between two magnesium magnets that are opposite pole. So what is the meaning of induced current? So induced current is the current that produced when the conductor cut the magnetic flux, okay? Current produced when conductor cut magnetic flux. So this is under electromagnetic induction idea on electromagnetism topic. Okay, so compare, they always will have comparison question. So they want you to compare what the direction of motion, the cross-sectional area of the rod, and also the magnitude of the deflections of the galvanometer pointer. So we again back to the diagram and see the idea first. So bow is also pointing up. So direction is same, no? So which one have bigger cross-sectional area? This one, understand? So thin, right? The area here is bigger, ma. So which one deflect more? This one also. So now you can give the answer. Radial direction of motion for both diagram are the same. And cross-sectional area for diagram 11.1 is smaller. Okay, magnitude of galvanometer deflection is 11.1 also smaller, or vice versa, you can say 11.2 is bigger. Next, you relate the magnitude of deflection of galvanometer and also cross-sectional area, so it's directly proportional, right, or higher. Then what is the induced current and also cross-sectional area, so also higher. So what is the physics concept involved? The physics concept involved by, right, for this one, because you have a more current, actually is supposed to be Faraday's law. Because bigger cross-section, more cutting, ma. Okay, yeah, because I think the schema is a mistake a bit, or you, electromagnetic induction. Oh, okay, concept can, okay, or yes, that indeed can accept also, with the law lah, okay. If concept, then electromagnetic induction. Okay, next one. Diagram 11.3 show a magnetic bar move into a solenoid and produce induced current. Explain what happened at the end of P. And then the direction of deflection of galvanometer needle and the law involved in generating the induced current. Okay, so this idea is when you move the magnet closer, you look at this end. So they will actually a pole that's produced at this end, whereby they will oppose the idea where the pole closer to it. So if you want to oppose it, reject it, okay, or you say repel lah. If you would to want to repel, what pole should you produce? Same pole, right, which is north. Yes. So you have to mention, okay, P will become north pole because you want to oppose the change producing it. And this idea is actually called Lenz's law. Okay, the moment you have this pole already, right, you have to know what is the current that being induced in the wire. So I tell students you can use right-hand grip rule, but this right-hand grip have a few usage, you know. For this case, if you want to determine the direction of current, the fingers is the curve finger is the current idea. And then this thumb is not pole. So if I were to draw it out and you use right hand, you know, again, you use right hand, grip rule. It memang called right hand grip rules, but you have two idea one. This one is for Lenz's law idea. So your thumb is over here, ma. Then this is your forefinger, correct? So you see your finger move downward. Notice or not? Yeah, so that's why the current induced here is like this. Then this current, when they touch this galvanometer, right? If they come from left, they will deflect left. If they come from right, they will deflect right. Memang it's like that. So you remember, go do, okay? So therefore, when the bar magnet is pushed in the solenoid, the end become north pole. The induced current is produced. Then this is what I mentioned, the current you produce already, right? Then you deflect to the left, and the law is Lenz's law. Let's say your north pole is on the left hand side, then you do like that, so the current will go up. Okay, part D, diagram 11.4 show the structure of direct current generator. So the generator produce more direct current. Then they will need to make some suggestion. Then they want you to become high, alternating some more. Not only the current become higher, there must be alternating current. So you need to modify in terms of the characteristic of magnet, wire, type of rings used. Okay, so if you all know how to differentiate between DC and also AC, the idea is actually come from the part on the ring here. So if DC, memang we will use commutator one, regardless it is motor or generator. So how do you change DC to AC? This AC idea, you will have each arms, right, have individual ring one. So it's called slip rings. Yeah, so this is how you change a DC idea to AC by changing the commutator to slip rings. Okay, next, how do you have more current? So it's factor affecting the induced current, right? So you can say you have more coil. Instead of one coil, you have more coil, get the idea? Then the strength of magnet is stronger, or they are even curved, more curved. Yes. And then thicker wire. So all these will contribute, and then you spin faster to higher current. Okay, so here is how you say use stronger magnet or use neodymium magnet, produce stronger magnetic field, increase the number of turn of coil, increase the cutting of magnetic flux, use copper wire low resistance, cross-sectional area of the wire is larger, reduce resistance, change the commutators to slip ring, produce alternating current. Yeah, so modification questions for this type of questions, right? You can always give more than 5 points if you have. Similarly, go for the reason, and then you don't need to do conclusion one for these questions. Yeah, so question 11 is compulsory. Remember, section C is also essay, but it's compulsory. You don't do all two from section B, 9 and 10, and then forgot 11, right? Make sure you do these questions as well. Yeah, so hence we have done with the Sarawak paper 2. Okay, that's it. Okay, we will meet again for other state paper. Bye-bye.